Hello and welcome to Week 3 in Introduction to Psychology. And at this point, we're going to dive right into our first area of content, and that is biopsychology. Start from the biological point of view here. It's actually one of the most active areas of psychological research going on with all the new brain imaging techniques that we have. More and more we're understanding the brain. However, each discovery leads to a million more questions, and just like most of psychology, there's still plenty to learn. Now, we are going to be absorbing Chapter 3 in the textbook, in the course book, and I'm really kind of narrowing the assignments down. There's a lot more to learn. I hope you read these chapters for the sake of learning about this stuff, even though I'm not quizzing you particularly on some of these details. I think that the stuff is just fascinating. I teach a whole course in biopsychology, and it is just the complexity and amazingness of our nervous system is pretty remarkable. I am asking you to engage in a discussion about a theory that's actually sort of filled with fallacy. It's not really true. Left brain, right brain sort of things. And it's not that it isn't that certain proficiencies are located in one hemisphere or another. It's that we sort of attribute larger personality traits to that, a left brain person versus a right brain person. And that's really not the case. Personality traits and whatnot tend to come from all over the brain, as do many aspects of our behavior. So even though we might be doing something artistic, it's probably involving all of our brain, not just our left brain or our right brain. I think that left-handed people are artistic. One of those things. I don't really put a lot of weight in that, but I'm having you take a look at it and see, just like many theories in, like, say, birth order is a theory, oldest, youngest, and middle child syndrome type things, has also not proved out very well in the literature, but my family was textbook that way. My oldest brother was a leader, always captain of the teams. He's a millionaire now. And then there's me. I was spoiled. I was, all of that. And then my middle brother, who went through a really large period in his life where he was sort of that lost child in the middle. And so sometimes it makes sense. So I'm asking you to have a discussion about left and right brainness for this week's material. And then you go into a quiz, and the quiz is essentially name the parts of the brain, label things, what does this do, what does that do. We're looking at lobes, we're looking at structures within the brain. These are larger structures. All of this material for that quiz is in the course book, including the images that are in the course book. Now here's the thing. This is a quote-unquote self-grading quiz. You take it once, it's going to give you a score. Do not believe that score. Brightspace is really not good at doing that. Take the test, wait till I grade it, and then you'll have a chance to do it again. Don't go in and take it that second time until I've graded it the first time, because it makes errors. If you put a space before the first letter, it calls it wrong. Spelling matters. I'm not really too hyped up about spelling, although, try and make that happen. Sometimes there's two answers and you've reversed them, all wrong. Don't worry about it. Take the test the first time. Let it be, regardless of what the grade is. Let me grade it. I will announce that it's graded, and then you'll have the opportunity to go in and look at the ones that you made mistakes on and correct that to the best of your ability. So keep that in mind. Now, the other thing I would like you to start thinking about, particularly because this is a very truncated class compared to the others, there's a major project in this class called the Information Literacy Paper. Sort of like a research paper. Now I want you to go into the course book and I want you to look at that assignment this week. I want you to start getting your head wrapped around that. I use a quiz that is available in the assessments area of the course, and it's a link in the timeline when I want that to be started at minimum. I'd like you to get started on that pretty early because I'm pretty picky about the questions that you pick. A question like, what is schizophrenia will not fly. Any question that I can easily get an answer to with a Google search is not going to fly. It's got to be really specific. That's why I ask you, why are you interested in that topic? Because then I'm going to help you define a question that is very precise, enough that you're not going to get too many resources and it's going to be overwhelming. This paper does require that you will be reading peer-reviewed articles. You are not getting information from the web. You are not getting information from websites or magazines or even Psychology Today or anything like that. Those are great places to start when you're looking for your information, but the information to support your paper is going to be coming from peer-reviewed literature. You're going to be using the KVCC library's access to EBSCO, which is a database that allows you to access the latest, greatest research that's going on in psychology. So be mindful, this is a complex project. I'm asking for you to read articles that are hard to read. They're hard for me to read. And to describe a topic from the point of view of the world of psychology. You're not drawing conclusions other than the conclusions as to what the field of psychology says. I'm not asking you to solve these problems. I'm not asking you to come up with your own opinions or anything like this. At this point, that's not the purpose. It's to get you acquainted with the way in which the field of psychology writes its stuff and how it expresses its ideas in things. And sometimes they're controversial. Sometimes they don't. You have one idea over here that seems legit, another one over here, and they wouldn't fit together. Two explanations for the same thing. Welcome to the field of psychology. That's what it's all about. And so for many of you, this might be your first venture into peer-reviewed literature and the complexity of reading that kind of material, and that's the point. The point is that this is going to be complex, challenging, and getting you ready for doing the other kinds of research projects that you'll be asked to do at the college level. So look forward to seeing you in the discussion boards, talking about left-right brain. Please start attempting, even if you just have some preliminary ideas, get that conversation going between you and I using that quiz, the proposal quiz. I get it, I grade it, I leave comments, we go back and forth until you get a 100. You can take that as many times as you want. You can change your topic. We just go back and forth. That's just my method of communication between you and I to get you to the point that you have an approved topic. Make sure you also read that last one that I grade. If you see a 100, you're like, great. Don't go into the quiz, look at my feedback, because I often will cite some resources from starting points and whatnot and lead you in the direction where you might get the most fruitful responses. So I look forward to those dialogues as the weeks come by. So have a great week, and I will see you in the discussion boards.